I was sitting on a webinar the other day, and it got me thinking a little bit about what I think we might see in 2026. And I've been around the space long enough to probably have an opinion on that. So that's what we're talking about today. I'm going to give you my very first prognostication video about what I think we might see this year. My name is Adam Hammond. Welcome to Ramblings of a Geek. I've been in the MSP space for 25 years or so. And I think I've been around enough to have an idea about what's going on. I really have tried to make myself be a student of the game and really lean into understanding what is happening in our industry as a whole. So that's what we're going to talk about today. My top 4 prognostications, along with some opportunities for you to lean into these things and generate some opportunities for yourself along the way. So let's get started. The first prognostication, or the first theme I think we're going to see this year, someone is finally going to break that AI billing code, right? So far, most of the MSPs I've talked to have build AI related work in things like, projects, where their time and materials are fixed fee for a project, or time and materials just straight up for AI stuff. Some Copilot licenses or other licensing type of schemes. But reality is that none of those things are going to make a huge difference for your business. One of the things I've heard so far in the AI space is that there's somebody figuring this out and billing by output or whatever, or outcome. I've never actually seen somebody actually do it for real. And so I'm hearing a lot of I heard somebody over here was doing it, or heard somebody over there was doing it. And it's sort of this hearsay, second or third party type of conversation. And so I think that for the MSP space, we need to solve for that this year, because if we do that, I think we're going to be in a much better spot. And this is really where AI will take off and really help your business kind of leap forward, at least with some of your clients anyway. What I'm talking about cracking the code is all about the idea around billing by outcome, or billing by time saved, or billing by individual AI related transaction or workflow run, those kinds of things. That's where I think the real money is going to be made. And what I think will happen is that businesses will start to see the value of some of this AI work that folks are doing, and really lean into the idea that, hey, you're actually saving me a bunch of time, a bunch of money, you're freeing up resources to do other things. Those kind of things are going to show value for the organization. And the MSPs that can think like a business consultant and understand what's happening in that world for their clients are going to start making some more money this year based on that. The second theme I think we're going to see this year is the alphabet soup of all of the different security certifications and attestations and those kind of things are going to start paying off for the businesses that have, 1, got the certification of whichever for themselves, and 2, have leaned into the marketing and prospecting efforts around attracting those types of clients. If that is you, you're probably going to see the fruits of your labor this year. Now, if your target clients are looking for someone with that level of certification, then that's not you yet. Maybe you don't have that certification. It's not too late, but you're going to need to lean into that a little bit this year in order for you to move that needle forward for your prospects and potentially clients as well. Not only do I do these videos about once a week, I also have a monthly newsletter. I'm going to drop the link on the screen and in the description of this video. I'd love it if you'd sign up for my newsletter. My third prognostication is that the acquisition and mergers and acquisition market, that whole world, is going to probably stay flat-ish, still active, but flat. And the buyers are looking for MSPs that are a little bit more mature in a couple ways. One, that their financials are in a better spot, right? The idea is that they've got clean books and those kind of things. That's always been a thing, but I think we're seeing even more of that, and we'll continue to see more of that here in the next, probably for the next several years, but this year in particular. The second piece is that these buyers are looking for MSPs that have a sales engine that works for them, right? If I'm going to buy an MSP, I don't want to buy an MSP that can't close deals, that doesn't have a pipeline, that hasn't closed a bunch of new leads over the course of the last few years. And I'm looking for that over time, right? I don't want that to be just we got to figure it out this year, but none of the years previous. So if you are thinking about selling your business here in the next few years, this is your opportunity to start leveling up your sales engine, just show consistent growth along the way. Because if you do that, I think your business is going to be a lot more valuable when it comes time to sell. I'm excited to say that this video has been sponsored by my wife's company. Nordic Sky is your bookkeeper for MSPs. If your MSP is struggling with bookkeeping or would like to get some better data and some better analytics out of the data that comes out of your books every month, you should talk to us at Nordic Sky, and I'll drop the link on the screen and in the description of this video as well. The fourth theme I think we're going to see this year is all about the midterm elections. Now, usually midterm elections aren't that disruptive in a macroeconomic side of the world. I think this year might be a little different. I think there's a lot on the table, and there's a lot of potential turmoil that comes from that whole activity more than most years. Now, usually presidential election years are a little bit funky when it comes to the overall economic situation within the country. But the idea for me is that I think this year might be a little bit more turbulent as far as that's concerned. So, you know, prospects or clients are going to be a little bit more reticent to make changes, might not be willing to, buy projects or sign off on this new service, or prospects might not be willing to change MSPs so readily, right? So there's a few things that we might see as it relates to some of those things, right? If those are the things I think we're going to run into this year, how can you leverage these opportunities in a good way for your business, right? That's the next piece. And that's really the reason why I'm recording this video is the first thing is that if you have leaned into AI so far already, awesome. I mean, the AI isn't going anywhere. Even if you're an MSP that doesn't love AI, you have to admit that it's changing how many people do business, and it probably will change how you do business. But if you've leaned into AI, this is the year for you to really lean into being more of a business consultant for your clients and understand the return on the AI investment that your clients have, right? If you haven't been talking to your clients about AI very much and haven't taught them how the tools work and all those other things, I think that's the first thing. But then leaning into that business side of the world is going to be really important for you. Now, if you haven't leaned into AI, it's not too late. And or if you're like, I'm not sure about this AI thing, again, not too late. I think the important part for you is to really lean into learning it for yourself, learning how the tools work for you and how you can leverage them for you, and then start teaching your clients about these tools. Because the reality is that your clients are going to want to learn about AI, and if they're not going to learn it from you, they're going to learn it from somebody else. That somebody else might be another MSP. Think about that. Lean into that as you can. Now, either case, if you've got clients that are kind of like thinking about AI and you've kind of shown them how that might be valuable to them, that will give you the opportunity to lean further in about talking about ROI and showing them that if we do this thing this way, it's going to save you time, or it's going to cut down on errors and those kinds of things, right? Because that's how you're going to get to that next level of billing. If you're getting some value out of this video, do me a favor, go ahead and hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, do all of the YouTube things. It does really help me in the long run. Opportunity number 2 is if you've leaned into all of the security, what I'm calling alphabet soup, right? All the different, the attestations and the certifications and all of those kind of things. If you've leaned into that, this is your year to really go after the marketing and prospecting efforts with those kinds of things. Because if you can do that this year, you're going to start separating yourself from the pack. Now, if your clients are looking for a CMMC or something like that, and that's not you, but that's who your target clients are, it's not too late to lean into that and go get those things. But now is the time, right? If your clients or prospects or your target client profile needs that level of security certification, you got to go get it. You can't wait any longer, especially because they may just eject you as a client or just outright reject you as a prospect if you don't already have that certification. Now, here's the other thing though, is that if your clients don't need that, right? Let's say your clients don't care if you have a CMMC. Yes, you need to have a security practice. Nobody can get by without that these days. But if you don't need a CMMC or a CIS or again, any of the alphabet soups, and that's not what your clients are looking for either, don't spend time on it, right? Just make sure you're keeping your clients safe and secure, but you don't need to spend time on getting those certifications, because those certifications themselves, while important and shows that you really have your security ducks in a row, you don't really need it if your clients aren't demanding it. And that time and effort spent to get it, if that's not who your clients are, is probably not time well spent. So the third opportunity is that if you are close to selling, right? You're 3 to 5 years away or less. Now is the time to make sure your books are in order and that you're having your sales engine rolling, right? Those are really important things to have. So the closer you are to that, the more vital it is to have those things dialed in. Now, but the reality is those are really good things to have always, right? If you can get your books clean when you're a small MSP and make good financial decisions when you're small, it's only going to help you as you grow. And even if you're a mid-sized MSP now and you're looking to sell maybe in 10 years and your books are a little bit of a mess, fix them now, right? There's nothing wrong with getting that fixed now and running as a more efficient, better operating MSP in the future. Same thing with the sales, right? So if you've been struggling with sales, struggling with leads, and usually the issue with sales is more lead generation than actual sales, is like if that's been you, go fix it, right? This is your sign to go fix that part of your business. If that's the thing you've been struggling with, the time is now, right? Lean into learning how to get new leads, lean into talking to new prospects, figuring out your target client profile, and like jumping forward on that. I've got a lot of videos about all things marketing, marketing and lead generation. I'm going to put that up above, and I think that will help you as well. Because candidly, the thing you need to do with lead generation is do the basics really, really well first. If you're not doing the basics really well, you're jumping too far ahead and you're trying to just outsource it because you don't want to do it. That is not how you run a business. So think about that for yourself. Again, the links are above and they'll be in the description of this video as well. The opportunity around the macroeconomic side of the world is really a lot about having your account management house in order and trying to take advantage of things that are happening in your vertical, in your location, or both. So let's talk about account management first. You need to have your account management house in order, because if you don't have it in order, then what's going to happen is you might lose some clients out the back door, and that's not what you want to have happen, right? You don't want to be losing a client while you're trying to pick up a new one, right? So you want to keep your clients happy, make sure you understand what's going on, make sure you're providing value to them and they understand the value that you're providing to them. The second piece is you need to keep your ear to the ground, keep your eyes open, looking for signs of stress in your vertical or in your overall market that you sell into, because you might see some MSP struggle, and this is an opportunity for you to, kind of capitalize on some of their struggles. So those are some things to think about as it relates to kind of all things macroeconomic, because the more uncertainty that lives in the world economically, the less likely businesses are willing to make changes. And you're going to have to really lean into that whole idea around dealing with that change side of the world and make sure that you're doing the things that you need to do to make sure your clients understand that you got their back, right? Those are really important things to lean into. And when you can take care of your existing clients and show that you're a little bit different and better or whatever to your target clients, whether it's your differentiating value or just, frankly, maybe just being more stable, that could be a game changer for you when it comes to that sales side of the world. Because if you can tie 3 or 4 of these things that I've talked about today together, 2026 is probably going to be a pretty good year for you. Thanks for coming on this ramble with me. Hope to see you on the next one.